Hey, Lucy here. Um, I'm gonna do another video. Um, Today I wanted to have a little chat, just not really that scripted, chat about depression. Well, hey, um, such a fun topic, I know. But basically, it's something that is a big issue at the moment. With lockdown, with the coronavirus, with everything as it is, and not being able to interact with people the same. I mean, depression's always a big problem. And when I say a big problem, I mean devastating. Like, Em feels sad a lot just knowing that other people struggle with depression. It's all encompassing. You never move on from depression. You will never get over it. You're never cured. It will always be hanging over you forever. Now, that's not to say that people who struggle with depression, can't be happy. And I think that's why it can be so dangerous as well. Because if you're depressed and yet you're able to be happy, you almost feel like you're betraying yourself in some way, and you catch yourself and you're like, but wait, I'm depressed, how can I be laughing? But it's more than that. It's not just feeling sad. You can have a happy day and still suffer with depression. You might find it hard to sleep. You might find it hard to eat. You might find it hard to get out of bed in the morning. There's so much more to it than just feeling low. The feeling when you're in the moment is not of just sadness. There's more emptiness. There's more hollow. Feeling like nothing. Feeling tiny and insignificant. And also, what Em struggles with a lot is that there's just too many problems. Too much to think about. For example, I'll read a small bit from one of her lists. She sometimes writes when she's in a very tough spot. She sometimes writes down how she feels so that we can reflect on it afterwards. So she's written that she at that time was thinking about, and caring for and feeling empathy and sorrow for all of the world and these people struggling with these issues such as cancer, ageism, racism, ableism, the World Health, veganism, mental health, North Korea, animal rights, human rights, and so on. She gets completely overwhelmed with caring about all of these things. She cares so much about other people. And this is kind of why we wanted to do this video today, because recently, not just her, but other people she knows have been struggling with depression, and it makes us all hurt inside to think that people are struggling so hard with this. It's so destructive to your life. It's horrible. I can't really describe it, and I think this is why it can be quite difficult to understand for people that don't have it, that it's not just feeling sad, it's not just feeling depressed. It is a depressive disorder. It's so much more, and it can continue for weeks and months. We're in a lucky spot. We have dealt with it for many years and are able to usually bring ourselves out of it. We're in a really good place with it. But some people, it's not as easy as that, and they feel it for weeks and months. And when you feel that you just want to be happy again, you just want to know what happiness feels like, you just want to feel motivated, you want to be able to say to people that you're okay and mean it, you become so desperate to do anything to feel that again, to feel normal again, that this is why people take their own life. And I'm sorry that this is a really, really, really dark video, but it's something that we feel people need to talk about. You don't, you know, it's all, like I keep saying, it's all encompassing, and it's more than just sadness, as I keep saying. But when you're stuck in that rut and you don't know how to get out, you know, you stop reaching out to people and you stop doing all the things that would help. So I think the other thing that we wanted to say is that it can be hard as a friend. It can be hard as a partner, you know, seeing people that you love and you care about struggling to find the light, struggling to see the good in things. It's so isolating, it makes you feel so alone, and you can be surrounded by people that love you, but you almost feel like they don't understand. I'm sorry that this is so sad to talk about, but I think sometimes we need to feel that sadness. You know, it's empathy, it's feeling for other people, it's caring, and I genuinely think that we need to be doing more. I don't think that the resources are good enough at the moment. Some people end up having to being on a waiting list for weeks, and if you're that deep in a trough, those weeks make all the difference, you know? It's so painful to think that there are people out there really struggling and they're not getting the help that they need because it's difficult, because you reach out once and somebody, you know, tells you to cheer up. You tell somebody for the first time and they say, oh, everybody goes through this, everybody has a bad time, but that's not what you want to hear. That's not what you should say to somebody, because they already feel that. They will already be feeling, oh, I should just get over this. Everybody feels bad sometimes. But depression isn't just feeling bad. And it's not a result of something that's happened in your life directly. It's not, you know, it's not like I missed my show, I feel sad as a result. You could be really happy and hanging out with your friends, and then slowly depression will creep up on you. You could be in a position to do the things you love, and depression will creep up on you and you'll stop. It can be really hard to do things that you care about, to feel motivated to do artistic endeavours that you used to love. I think that mental health awareness is growing, and that's amazing. And this isn't supposed to be a lecture. This isn't supposed to be, this is how people with depression feel. Because I'm sure that probably most of you watching this will have experienced it at some point. And that is also really sad. You know, the fact that so many people have to go through this, it's horrible. And that's why we wanted to talk about it, because Em's been she's a very empathetic person, and she's been feeling sad about the fact that people struggle with this. It's the way her depression works. She will find something to feel sad about because she already feels this emptiness. So I don't want to just make this a really sad video, because there is a way to get through this. You know, if you do get the right therapy, you do get the right counselling. A lot of the time, for us and from our experience, we believe that counselling can benefit for us more, because we've done things like CBT in the past, and we found that it sort of puts the weight and the responsibility on you, and that can make you self-hate more. From our experience, we may have not had a particularly great experience with it, but it's about finding the right therapist or counsellor for you, and that can take time, which is the hard part. but it's something that if you constantly feel, you know, low for weeks on end and low energy and everything's a struggle and everything's painful and you just want to feel happy again, I would just want to say to you that please keep trying to reach out for help, professional help, because as much as friends love you, as much as family loves you, they are not trained in exactly how the brain works and the best ways to help. You might have a really bad experience with a therapist or a counsellor, but don't give up. Help is out there, it's hard to find and you might be waiting weeks or months, but stick with it. It'll be worth it. And as much as we all know this, everybody with depression knows this, I will feel better eventually, soon. Just keep hold of that as well, because things will start to get better if you work to try and get help. Don't do it alone. You know, don't have to do things alone. You can have help. You're not alone. It may feel so isolating and like you are alone, but you're not. People will be there to help you. They won't judge you. They're not going to think you're lazy. They're not going to think you're a waste of time or space. People are there. And in this country, you should be able to get it for free. So I guess that's my video. It's just a plea for anybody who's struggling to try and keep trying for that support, that help. Tell somebody that does love you if you haven't already, so they can help you get help. If you find it hard, they can organise it with you and go with you. If that's what you need, that's what you want. Everything has to be consensual to you. But telling yourself that you're strong enough to fight this alone, if it's been weeks, telling yourself that you don't want to be a burden, that they will have heard it all before and they'll just not care. Any of these things, any way that you can convince yourself not to go, please just try and make a space that's, I'll give it a shot, why not? Because what's the worst that can happen, you know? So that's my sort of discussion about depression. Again, I'm sorry, it's a low one. Also, I experience depression differently from Emily. As I said, she feels depression and then tries to look for ways to rationalize it. So she will feel sad about all the things I listed earlier. Whereas I don't know, I think I take it more personally. And I will end up just being upset that I'm an alter and I can't have my own life and all of those kind of things, you know? Even if I don't focus it around something, you know, it's just a heavy feeling, and I sort of sit with it more than Emily does. She tries to fight it more, I think, than I do. But it depends on how you experience it and the way that you deal with it. So neither way is better or worse. It's just everybody experiences it differently. And as an alter, I experience it differently. But we are doing okay. We're not struggling every single day, and we are with some really amazing, lovely people that care about us, and we're familiar with it so that we are able to deal with it. I just wanted to reassure anybody if they're really worried about us. We're doing okay, but we have had a couple of spikes recently. And so have some of our friends. So it's something that we are feeling really passionate about at the moment. Yeah, I apologise for the light. It's a bit weird today. It's been raining on and off, like heavy rain and hail, and then sunshine, so I didn't really know what the lighting would be doing. I still haven't got my wig sorted at the front yet. and I did my first stream that went okay, and if anybody wants to watch that, just hop over to our Twitch. I'll link it below. And also I'm feeling a little bit more confident now. I've come out a lot more recently, and I hope I don't seem too different from the last video. Trust me, it's still Lucy. But that's another thing. As alters, we can be different on different days, different depending on what it is we're sharing, you know, who we're with. We're individual people. So in one video you might see me one way, and in another way the next video. So yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, that's the end of my video. I hope that it wasn't too dark for anybody watching this, and I hope it can at least motivate maybe somebody to push forwards for some kind of support or help. And also have patience for anybody in your life that is struggling. You know, they might not tell you. Have empathy. We don't know what's going on in people's lives. They could be struggling with any kinds of thing, not just depression. And I think it's important. So, yeah, I'll stop rambling. And I really appreciate you guys subscribing as well. So thank you. Thank you very much. It's been Lucy, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye. While I was just editing this, I've realised that as an alter, I'm incredibly insecure and nervous about the fact that I am very similar to Emily. A lot of my actions, the way I move my eyes, the way I move my body, is very similar to Em's, and also editing it I find it quite hard because all I see is Em's face. Today I was just a bit more casual. I didn't want to put loads of makeup on, and it's really hard. I'm finding I'm struggling. So just bear in mind that this is a Lucy video. It is still me, even though I may look and almost act the same as Emily. Yeah, that's just a little bit I thought I'd put in at the end, because it's a real struggle.